You are watching the celebration of life ceremony for 28-year-old Metro Police Officer John Anderson. We are going to follow the procession as it makes its way to Spring Hill Cemetery, and we will keep you updated with anything new.
I'll give the color guard the cue to move, and then go. Once I give the color guard that stretch limo is going to have to make this turn. I don't know if it wants to land on the inside.
We are currently listening to the drummers and bagpipers, better known as the drill and ceremony team, which honors fallen officers. Ironically, Officer Anderson was part of the drill and ceremony team playing the bagpipes, a special unit of officers which honors officials killed in the line of duty. Many of the officers, they say, do this on their own time. The 28 members of the team, including Anderson at the time, were selected for their dedication to law enforcement and their department. Officers, the site says, stand watch over law enforcement officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice, as Officer Anderson has done. We are now going to check back in with News Channel 5's Chris Contu, who's in Sky 5, and I believe you had some company up there for a while. We saw several helicopters, Chris.
Yeah, Vicki, we saw a helicopter from Metro Nashville Police, from the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and two other agencies here in town who were flying over. It was John's stepdad who said that Officer Anderson preferred to do his good in solitude. There is nothing really private about the death of a police officer, as his family is learning here today. Of course, what always strikes me is they are moving so incredibly slowly in front of Officer Anderson's other brothers and sisters is the riderless horse that is sitting right in front of this procession, symbolic of the horse that Officer Anderson should be on himself. Instead, during these processions, they choose to leave that horse riderless to remind people of the sacrifice that Officer Anderson made here for this city and for this police department. This procession will be moving incredibly slowly. My guess is that once they get out of the driveway of the church, the horses and the drill team here will split off, and then the rest of the line will continue. As we pull out a little bit, you can see on OHB, on Old Hickory Boulevard, that the Nashville Fire Department, with two of their ladder trucks, has draped a flag over the center of OHB. Officer Anderson's body, along with his family, who is following close behind, they will ride under that, all part of the pomp and circumstance that is surrounding this somber day, as this police department in this city continues to say goodbye to one of their own. Vicki.
We will continue to watch. Chris, are you still there? I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
We normally, when there are instances such as this one, there are other police departments from all over the country. Is that the case today?
Yeah, I have heard of a number of officers coming in from all corners of the state, other states, North Carolina, where Officer Anderson was from, as we watched here as his body is brought onto Old Hickory Boulevard. The procession will only last about 2 or 3 miles. There are a number of people who have lined up along the side of Old Hickory Boulevard who are waiting to give one final salute to Officer Anderson here as we watch as his body passes below this flag which has been draped. Surrounded by 4 Metro police officers on motorcycles accompanying him to the funeral home about 2 or 3 miles from where we are right now.
And we will stay with the procession until it reaches Spring Hill Cemetery.
Mark, can you see those people to the left there in front of that church? They're standing on the street.
As you may have heard, many people today talked about what a wonderful family man Officer Anderson was. Caitlin Smith, Anderson's girlfriend, released the following statement after his death. Quote, "Understandably, we are all deeply grieving. John was one of the best people I've ever known. I truly could never say enough about John's character. He was an amazing father to his son Gavin and to my son Liam, who he took care of as his own. He was an incredibly loving partner to me, and we were making plans for the future with such excitement about what was in store for us. I'm devastated that a senseless act has taken that all away." And having said that, many of you have asked how you can help during this difficult time. A memorial fund has been set up for Officer Anderson's son Gavin. You can donate at the MPD Community Credit Union in Nashville or online. More information can be found on our website, newschannel5.com. can see the hearse, which is carrying Officer Anderson's remains, is nearing the cemetery. We're going to go back to Chris Conti, who can tell us what he sees. What's going on, Chris?
Well, Vicki, the hearse here has just turned into the cemetery off Gallatin Pike, surrounded by hundreds of men and women from the Metro Nashville Police Department. Right behind Officer Anderson, of course, is his family, his young son, his girlfriend, his mom, his dad, his stepdad, all of his family that had flown in from all over the country to be here today. We are talking about a man who quite literally saved lives for the city of Nashville, pulled someone off of the Shelby Ave Bridge one time who was trying to commit suicide. We heard from some friends and family today who said that the first time Officer Anderson saved a life was back in 8th grade when he saved a fellow Boy Scout from drowning at a summer camp. That is the kind of man that we are talking about, the kind of man that this city has lost, and the kind of man that his department is being forced to say goodbye to today. It is hard to think of a more somber situation that is what is playing out right now, as most of the close family and friends begin to gather at the cemetery here. Of course, he's from North Carolina. He will not be buried here in Nashville, but this was his department's way of saying goodbye to a man who, even though was only with the department for 4 years, made an incredible impact on both the people he worked with and the community that he served. Vicki.
Thanks, Chris. You have been watching the conclusion of Officer John Anderson's Celebration of Life ceremony. We will have more on today's proceedings coming up at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock on our main channel. We thank you for staying with us.